an MRA of the head. So I start with the localizer just like I always did in the past. Okay, this first scan is about 30 seconds long. Okay, this is a calibration scan. You won't have this on the other scanner. The other scanner's too old to have calibration scans. So again, you just click in the middle. Here's another 30-second scan. All right, I'm going to bring up this. This is the Mra sequence. All the rest of these are sequences you've already done in the past. It's basically just a full brain exam. So for some reason the scout view is a little small, so I'm just going to go ahead and increase the size and move it sort of in the center. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, make sure that I can see the falx, I can see a good mid-sagittal image, and I'm going to throw down on the sagittal. I'm going to get I'm going to get a Shem volume, so I'm just going to stick the Shem volume pretty much right in the middle of the head. You won't have that over at Tempe either. And then Shem and get rid of the Shem. Now, this box represents a volume acquisition of 3D time of flights. There's 3 volumes that we do one after the other, and the computer combines them together into one volume acquisition once everything's done. Now, when you normally plot a brain, you guys have used this angle sort of like that, right? So that's the angle that you normally use. I normally angle a little bit more than that, to about another 15 degrees or 20 degrees or so. That's going to give you a lot more of the anterior circulation over here, and it's going to allow you to bring the slices up a little higher. So bring it up to there. You want to make sure that you include the base of the skull, which is right here, and you want to have most of the corpus callosum. If you were a little bit lower, like to right about there, that's fine, you've got enough. But if you're scanning down to about there, that's not enough of it. So we've got plenty of room to do the entire, basically the entire corpus callosum right there. This is jacked, so we'll straighten that out. And then we'll rotate this. So I do my rotation in all 3 planes, make sure that looks good. If I'm not happy, I can see if I can find a slice, so I just make sure that this goes straight down the middle here. My patient's moving, and then that's pretty much it. You don't have to adjust any of the parameters at all for this. Parameters are, just leave them be, and you just save it and you run it. It's long, so I am going to shorten this up a little bit. 256, a little shorter. Okay, this next scan is 4 minutes long. Hold very still, please. All right. One thing with this is that you have to make sure that you rotate in this plane, because if you don't, then when you bring up the scan to do a 3D mipping, then it's going to be rotated and there's no way to fix it. So it's very, very important to make sure that you get the rotation in the axial plane correct. So let's just blast through this. This is all well-trodden trails for you guys. You know, you just going to do a brain, make sure I see the falx, I can see all the anatomy I need, throw down in the sagittal, put the Shem volume right where it should be, hide the Shem volume, make sure that I get my angulation correct, so that again with the posterior aspect of the brainstem, and then go through the other 2 slices and make sure that my angulation makes me happy here and here, And then I just basically center up. And then I do my coverage, something like that. That looks good, and I'm happy. Because it's a diffusion, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to save it onto the sagittal T1. Make sure I can see the anatomy again. I'm going to throw down, this time I'm going to throw down in the coronal. You don't want to throw down in the sagittal. So, and then you make sure that your slices are going the correct direction, which they are not. So I'm going to hit the R key. That does not work at Tempe. There is no R key at Tempe. So again, you're going to angle in all three planes. Make sure that you're happy with the angulation like that. Good. You're going to do your centering. Again, this is the egg with a bite out of it, and you want to put the crosshairs right in the middle of the egg, right there. And then your coverage looks pretty good. I'm covering from the edge of the brain to the edge of the brain. I could add one more slice if I wanted to, and then drag this over a little bit. That's pretty generous, but that's good. So 256, 192, one next. TR is too low. Now, because it's one acquisition, I have no choice but to make this a type in and go to 400, like that. That's going to give me my lowest TR available for a T1. The axial T2 flare. Alright, so again, just get your window levels all nice, throw down on the sagittal, and we're going to angle with the posterior aspect of the brainstem again. All stuff you guys have already done. You want to angle here, make sure you're angled here. You want to center it up, something like that. I've got good coverage on the top. I'm going to pull off a slice because the base of the skull's right there. So I've got one extra slice down at the bottom. 256, 192, one next. You can't really adjust the TR. Adjusting the TR on a flare doesn't do anything. So you can adjust the scan time by adjusting the bandwidth or some other things, but you want to leave the inversion time. You want to leave this pretty much alone because it affects the contrast. So this is going to be 2.5 minutes. Adding time in here is good because when it comes to the testing, they're going to want to you to have this whole thing cut out by the time the scan is complete. So I've just copied to those three. So we get to open them up just to make sure that they're okay. So 256, 192, one next, and then my TR is good. So I can save that and go up here. Okay, this next scan is about a minute. Go to the gradient. I'm going to want to copy that. So just take any of these axials, uncheck the copy field of view, boom, 256, 192, one next, and now I've got to do, this does not auto TR, the gradients don't, but you don't have the auto TR option on the other scanner either. So we've got a TR of 700, I can go up a little bit more, up to about 1,000, or down, sorry, and go down. So I've got a TR of 600 and max slices of 23 slices for one acquisition. So that's optimized. Now we're going to do the coronal here. So again, you're going to make sure you can see all the anatomy. If you want to, you do have a sagittal. No, you don't. You don't have a sagittal yet. Never mind. I'll shut up. All right, so I'm going to throw down again. I'm going to angle. I'm going to make sure the slices are going the correct direction, which they are. Then I angle with the falx here, make sure that's straight. put it so that this line here is right at the base of the corpus callosum right there. That looks good. All right, so centering is good. Coverage, I might be able to add one more slice to go from the edge of the brain to the edge of the brain. All right, 256, 192, one next, and the TR is, that's good. So I've done all the prescribing. That's all done.